Hey, what's up, guys? Long Island Audit here, back again with another video. Today, coming to you live from an undisclosed location in Florida. I'm supposed to be on vacation, but I just had to do this live because it's so important to me, and I really appreciate our special guest. So, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys. So this is my special guest here, Matt Thornton. Really appreciate him. I don't know how many people were watching who watched our first video where we had a great discussion, amazing discussion the first time. So I had to bring you back. You've done some major things, in your life and in other people's lives since the last time we spoke. So I wanted to bring you back and have a nice little chat. It's always good to talk to you, and thank you for coming, my friend.
Oh, I always appreciate you, Sean, man. I love being here, and I'm addicted to your channel, and so I see your voice probably more than any other voice that I see, man. I love it.
Thanks, Matt. But yeah, so everybody in the chat, say hi to Officer Matt Thornton. I've been looking at the chat. Everybody supports you just like I do. It's so refreshing to hear from somebody like you and your point of views and your opinions that you have. Just for people who didn't watch the first video, the way Matt and I started talking was he had like a viral video on TikTok. TikTok, right? Yeah. So he had a viral video on TikTok where he talks about, listen, it's like a PSA to all law enforcement officers out there, and he's basically saying, um, don't engage. Why are we getting involved with, why are we acting this way towards First Amendment auditors? He's like, it's not illegal, it's not suspicious. No, you can't have their ID, and it went viral with like, how many views does it have, Matt?
Oh my gosh, it's got several million, I believe.
Yeah,
Last
I think
never checked.
last time I checked, it had a few million views, and I was like, and I actually stumbled upon it just randomly, and I reached out to him, and I was like, hey man, I followed him, and I was like, hey man, I'd love to talk to you, and we had our first video. I'll link that to video in the description of this video, but it was a great time. So Matt, real quick, if you want to just explain for people who didn't watch the first video that we did together, how did you end up becoming a police officer, and how did you end up doing what you're doing now, which is, line stepping, right?
Yeah,
I see the
line
hashtag.
step. That was actually a
I
little
see the
too.
hashtags on your video, line stepping.
So yeah, like I said, I never aspired to be a police officer. I hated cops growing up. I had a huge vendetta with them. So I really just took the job. I got hired when I was 28 or 29. I just took the job because I was barely past high school, never went to college, never went to military. I just tried kind of as a gag. I never thought I'd even become a cop. So when I got the job, it was for the money, it was for the pay raise. And then when I got it, I still had a lot. I still felt a lot of ways about policing, and it shocked me when I got it. I was totally ill prepared for the attitude, what it took mentally away from you as being an officer. The stress is not just from what you see, but the stress is from how they're telling me I'm supposed to act, and how it was a culture of us against them, and I hated that because I policed in the city that I grew up in, and I just really resented that from day one, and it took a toll on my mental health. So long story short, I went down this long dark road of depression, and thinking that I was a sellout, and thinking that I hated what I do now, and I was on the verge of taking my own life, and then God saved me in 2013, and
Amen.
and then He showed me kind of how to use that badge that I hated to glorify Him. So I ended up starting a non-for-profit that is really successful. I help kids get off the street. We try to save their lives. Gang members, high risk, what you would call high risk youth. It's blown up, and then I finally, someone told me to just write all this stuff down, and I finally ended up writing a book about the whole path. The book is kind of geared towards the mental health side. There's more to come, more to the story that's
I,
coming. So
I
yep,
hope
that's
so.
how we got here. And then I started making videos, kind of speaking out my true heart about what's wrong with policing, and I do it in a fashion that kind of caught a lot of attention. I get a lot of heat for what I say, but I'm the truth hurts some people. So that's how I ended up making certain videos, and that's the one that you found. And Yeah, that's how I am. I gotta speak truth. I can't be phony. I don't do phony.
Yeah. No, for sure. No, I don't sense anything phony about you. But it just amazes me. That's why I want you to tell the story again. It's because it's like you
Uh-huh.
grew up hating the police to
Uh-huh.
later become a police officer, and that
It's
blows
weird,
my
right?
mind. It blows my mind to become a police officer after you just grew up hating the police. Because I remember you told last time, I was like, why did you hate the police? It's because you just had bad experiences with them as you were growing up, and you were treated badly, and you knew how it was, and then you just took the job just to have a job, and now look at
Uh-huh.
you. You've been a police officer for how long now with your
18
department?
years. 18 years
Eight,
next week.
18 years next week. Well, happy early anniversary for your 18 years, Matt.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, so
See,
I really think it's amazing. I think it's amazing what you're doing.
yeah, I appreciate these opportunities, and what drew me to you, like when you reached out, and then I checked out what you do. It's like we both have this. It's almost like there's nothing wrong with being angry towards what's been going on, but if you do it righteously, it's like a righteous anger, and you go about it the right way. I think that it'll be blessed because we speak truth, but we do it wanting to see a change. We're not doing it just to be ugly or just to point out people or just be hateful. We're doing it because, man, we want to just make this better, make this relationship, break this bridge down. So we
Yeah,
have the same heart.
yeah. I'm all about bridging the gap. I was, we speak off camera, of course. I
Mm-hmm.
consider you a friend, man. I really do, and
Oh, vice versa.
for sure. And I just actually got finished doing the training, First Amendment audit training, and at a police department. And I thought that was an amazing opportunity for me. A police department in Ohio, they reached out to me and said, "Hey, we watch your videos here. We love what you do. We love what you stand for. Can you come? We want to do a training. Can you come help us do that training?" And I was, floored. I couldn't believe it because that's so much progress to me just for that happening. I thought just speaking with you
Right.
on camera and seeing you how are, you know, outspoken is like speaking the truth is really what you do. So,
Uh-huh.
how you just speak the truth and doesn't matter what anybody thinks about it. You know, for that department in Ohio to reach out to me, and I went there and I met them, and we got dinner. We had the training. It was 2 4-hour classes. It was a great experience, and if I could only change one, if I can make one little change in the world in my entire life, I'll be happy. If I can make one change in what's going on between policing and the public and help bridge that gap even just
Uh-huh.
a little bit, because everybody knows that my channel is not about, you know, us against them. It's about, let's call out, and the same thing that you do. Let's call out the bad ones. Let's get them fired. Let's get them out of there, because a bad cop is the most dangerous thing when it
Uh-huh.
comes to a good officer like yourself.
Yep, that's what gets us hurt, and that's what puts us in more danger. So then that's awesome. I did the Ohio thing. That is great.
Yeah.
That is great
No,
news, man.
it was so much fun. I talked to the police chief, the detective from internal affairs. He had a bunch of opinions and crazy feelings about, my videos, because as a law enforcement officer, you watch these videos and you watch the way these, other law enforcement officers act, and you're like,
Uh,
what? And when I file internal affairs report and they completely lie and try and when there's video evidence, I can't believe it. I was just arrested the other day, and actually on my way, I was driving on my way to do the speaking, right, at the Ohio Police Department.
uh-huh.
I'll be putting out the video soon. I'll make sure to send it to you so you can watch it. But
Okay.
it's such a good video. But on my way there, I stopped at a post office to do an audit in Hagerstown, Maryland, and I actually got arrested. And the detective that I spoke with, my friend at that Ohio Police Department, he was like, "Listen, just don't get arrested. I want you to be here." I told him I'm going to do some auditing before I go there. He's like, "All right, just don't get arrested." He jinxed me, so detective, me and him, we have an issue because he jinxed me. But I went to the post office, they arrested me. But the
Fine,
whole
y'all.
point is that I'm like, "Listen, man, they lied." He's like, "I know, I watched the video already." I'm like, "They lied about me. They didn't say, that no postal employee told me to leave." When they asked me to leave, they put in the police report that I said, "Oh, I don't have to." Just a bunch of lies, and it's like, how do you lie when you know something's on camera? Like, how do you do that? And it's like, you just took away my freedom for 6 hours, and I went through all this BS, and it's like, I'm trying to help And all you did by arresting me was hurt the relationship with the community. Now, if I was a closed minded individual, I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to go speak with police officers right now. Forget them, you know? I keep getting arrested no matter how nice I am, how respectful I treat them, how within the bounds of the law that I act. I just keep getting arrested. I keep getting put in handcuffs. I keep being put in the car when the car is not turned on, and it's 85 degrees outside. Like all these things keep happening to me. But you know what? We all go through trials and tribulations, right, Matt? And we have to. If we're not going through those, it means we're not doing something right, in my opinion. It's not going to be easy. This is not going to be easy for us to affect change. You've talked about in your videos a lot about how you have gone. If you want to speak on that, how you have received so much hate and criticism based on
Mhm.
what you do.
Yeah, I get it's a lot of keyboard warriors. I say I get a lot of that. I've gotten hate mail. I've gotten plenty of
Keyboard
people.
warriors.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a lot of tough
I
guys
know a
out there.
few of those. I know a few of those guys.
But yeah, and you can't help. I'm a human being. Like sometimes, like they say some terrible, bothersome things, and a lot of guys around. I got a certain reputation around the PDs around here, but I just know that what I'm doing is blessed, and I know that I'm just speaking the truth out of love because in the end, we just want to see the same thing. And what you do, and the fact that I think it bothers a lot of people that I absolutely love what you do and love you personally because you're my man. Um, you pick up you do more than you even realize because you actually will sharpen sharpen the skills of any seasoned officer. Like I watch some of your videos, I'm like, you know what? Let me research some of that so I can tell these dudes and I can pass along some of the information that you have because we're street cops. We deal with a lot of violent situations and shootings and stuff. That's kind of what we specialize in. But the little nuances that the points that you make, I mean, you clean up our game because it helps us. And if you want to be open minded, there's cops that can learn so much from you, brother. That's why I admire what you do, man.
And it's very humbling because I've, lawyers, attorneys have reached out to me on YouTube, ones that have YouTube channels, and they're like, "Hey,
Hmm.
listen, I've learned, and these people are, very intelligent to pass the bar, to go to law school. I didn't do any of that. I never claimed to, but for them to say, "Hey, I've learned a lot from you, from police officers like yourself. Like, hey, I've learned something from you. I've learned from your video. I've learned not only just about the law, but how to remain calm because I'm very big into
Yeah.
controlling my emotions because I feel that I've lost when my first question when people see me at the Six Flags when I'm with kids, anywhere I go, I'll run into somebody, and the first question they ask is, "How do you stay so calm? How do you stay so calm?" And my answer is because I know what I'm doing is right. I believe in what I'm doing. I believe in what I'm doing. I firmly believe in what I'm doing, and I believe that I am right. So, as far as I believe my purpose is genuine, and it's coming from a place of wanting to bridge this gap, which is why we're talking. So, it's I don't let them get upset because I don't want any other man or woman to ever control my emotions because that means they're controlling me. They could say whatever they want. I was told to go back to my country by a correctional officer.
I saw that.
Yeah, I was a million other things I've been told 20 years ago. You did a video on your TikTok. I really
Oh,
invite everybody, I really invite everyone to go check out his TikTok. It's in the description below. He makes a bunch of, great videos. He uses a lot of copyright music that you can use on TikTok that we can't use on YouTube.
yeah.
So it's hard for me to show them to you, but I just scroll through them because they're really good. But yeah, he did a video on the 20 years ago I'd be dead with my teeth missing. Officer Glenn Utter of the Danbury Police Department, when he said that to me, or he said that to his fellow officer, and his fellow officer said, "Absolutely." Now think about that. 20 years ago, he would have been dead with his teeth missing. I would have done it myself. That's a direct quote of Officer Glenn Utter. And absolutely, for him to say something like that, what an embarrassment on his department, on law enforcement, just an embarrassment of a human being just to say something like that. And the consequences were a 9-day vacation, a 9-day suspension. So, does the consequences justify his words? No, I don't believe so. And I
You
appreciate
know,
you for making a video about it, really.
and you know how much that sets us back. I mean, all the like I'm personally at war with that culture, like that mentality, because there's this old, it's almost like an old school new school type of mentality, like before there were cameras. I've done videos about that too, about how comfortable and reckless people thought they were entitled to speak to other people, and talking about, oh, what we used to do, what we did. Like, you're talking about criminal activity. Like, what separates you from a criminal? And from day one, when I hear all these stories, and every cop, they're lying if they say they haven't heard these old school type of stories and this and that, what we used to do, that type of mentality. That's what I'm at war with. And that's what I think a lot of new generation cops are at war with, because that trash puts us in jeopardy. Like all the good ones, that we just want to be cool with the community, and we understand that we work for you. And it's not vice versa, and it's not us against them. But when I see stuff like that, man, it just
Yeah.
it puts such a detriment on our progress.
Yeah,
Made me sick.
and use the word, use the term professional peacekeepers, right? That's in your videos. You use that word, that's what. And I tell everybody now I come across now, I use that all the time now. I stole it from you, but I think it's so great. You're a
Oh,
professional
thank you.
peacekeeper. You're getting, you're getting paid by the taxpayers to keep the peace, to protect and serve. No one is
Hmm.
advocating here for, I've never advocated that, to get rid of all of laws or, I support law and order. Like if you're a criminal and you're hurting people, you should be held accountable for that. But, for somebody recording or, all these videos that you've done a whole bunch of videos on your TikTok that you see like
Hmm.
how where they try and, insert dominance where it's not necessary or, it's all. And every officer I've ever spoken to, even when I spoke with the officers at that police department in Ohio, they told me they all say the same thing. It's the ego. They can't let go of their ego.
Yep.
They're ego maniacs that they have this badge and the gun that they makes them feel superior, and they want to exert that authority on the public, which is, despicable to me. We're supposed to be all together. We're not
Hmm.
supposed to be divided. And for you to try and divide us, and people that say, it's only a few cops, I can tell you from my personal experience, I've been around the country and I've seen the same mentality throughout the whole country, because you need to understand that these officers are training the new generation of officers. And you had told me a story about, how you told me, oh, you have to control the situation, and you were like, but what about showing compassion? And they were like, oh, you're going to be a horrible officer, right? Something like that, right?
Yep. That
you're
actually
gonna
happened
you're gonna
in
be
a
a
train.
horrible officer. I can't believe it. It's like you will be a horrible officer if you show compassion. Are you kidding?
Yeah, that was the mentality, and that's kind of what they train you. See, officers, when you become a rookie officer, when you start, it's almost like monkey see, monkey do, and you kind of take on the personality of who's training you, and you can't do anything as a rookie because if you're always on probation, they can get rid of you for anything. So you kind of it's a catch 22 because you sort of don't really have a say, and I hated that. Like if I say something, it could come back and get me back on the street. So I I couldn't wait to be able to sound off. I never did anything. I observed some things, but I never did anything myself. But once I got known as a guy that would speak out, all you gotta do is speak out once. And the guys that do all that stuff, they're not gonna do it in front of you. I proved like early on that I'm gonna say something, and it changed the tone of how people act around you, and that's what I encourage. I like be that rep, be that dude with that reputation that you know what, pull that nonsense in front of me. I dare you to, because I'm gonna go
Mhm.
right up front and I'm gonna turn you right in, and then
Yep.
that bad behavior will stop around you.
Yep. And I think that's the major number one problem in law enforcement from the outside looking in. I think that's the number one problem is the brotherhood, that
Yeah.
mentality that, I can't turn in my brother because if I turn in my brother, right, everybody else is going to hate me. I'm going to be ostracized from the group. The union's going to come down hard on me. Or, I've seen unions have way more power than, police chiefs, where the department will have a really good police chief who honors his oath, and but there's nothing, his hands are tied because his power is not as great, especially here in the Northeast, with our, the unions over here are extremely strong. So I've seen
Mm.
that happen over and over again. And again, you could be to any officer ask watching this, be the change, because it might not be easy. It's not easy for me. It's not easy for Matt, but it's definitely worth it because it gives you a satisfaction in your heart that you're doing, and your soul that you're doing the right thing, and you're protecting your community from tyrants. We have to get rid of all these tyrants in all these police departments because they're hurting people, they're violating people's rights, they're taking away people's freedoms, they're costing taxpayers millions and millions of dollars in settlements and lawsuits and everything else. So it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. And I've seen it firsthand, the retribution where a paramedic came to one of my protests in Danbury, and his fiance called me the next day, and she says she emails me, and she says, they said that the police department contacted my husband and said, watch your back on the street because we're not going to watch it for you anymore. Simply from coming to a protest of somebody that he supports. He didn't say anything against the police or anything. He just said that he supports me, and because he supported me, he had to watch his own back. So if they do that to a paramedic, if they do that to Matt, ladies and gentlemen, right, one of their own, if he gets all this hate from the inside, you can only imagine how they're going to treat people that defy them, that don't wear a gun and a badge or aren't a paramedic, and that's the scary part.
Yeah,
Really is.
they hate when I use that analogy. So you guys want to get on me? I'm supposed to be your brother. How do you treat the average gang member on the street corner that ain't done nothing to you?
Mhm.
That's they get triggered to that. And then I always say this, Sean. I always say that, and this gets a lot of people upset, but it's the truth. I did not get this job to be some part of some blue fraternity. I just didn't. I got the job because I love people, and I have my idea of this job is I'm one of the neighborhood. I bet people should be happy to see me. I don't get into all of that. I'm totally respectful. I got my brothers back if they need it. My partners and stuff. But I did not get this job to be part of some blue fraternity. I
Mhm.
got this job because I love the world and I want to make it better.
And you
So I
definitely are
appreciate
doing that. I read, it's perfect segue into your book because I read your book. Thank you for sending it to me. It was,
Oh, I got you.
I'm pretty sure I read it in a day, honestly. And
Yeah, it's pretty
I
good.
wanted to keep,
Shakespeare.
I wanted to keep reading it. There was like, I felt like there was more to the story. I'm like, come on, there's got to be more to this. Because I know there is. Because I know, how many people, what kind of people have you helped, and with your nonprofit, and all the things that you've done. Like, I felt, I know you're going to write another book. You have to. So,
Of course, that was
and I wait.
segmented.
And at first, I wanted to tell you, I really appreciate you sending me the book, and I got to send you some We the People merch and some Long Island Audit merch. I got to
Oh
send
yeah,
that.
I'll rock it, brother. I got you.
I gotta get that over to you. Maybe we can even like collab on a design with you and I, and we
Uh
could
huh.
put it on a T-shirt and put it on the store on Long Island Audit store, and the proceeds can go to your nonprofit. I would love to
Oh,
help
that'd
you.
be
I would love to
great.
do that.
Oh man,
I
that'd be
would love
great.
to do that for sure. I would love to do that. But yeah, so you wrote a book. It's called "Copping Crisis to Copping Christ," right?
Hmm.
If you do you want to, if you tell everybody about that book because it's an amazing book, guys. Really, it is.
It, it, it's really it's the long version of the journey. I actually got one. My girlfriend left one right next to the desk here. I got one sitting right here. Um, it's it's really a long description of what I had talked about. My journey, my unlikely journey to becoming a cop. Like I
Mhm.
said, no high school, no college, no military. I had been charged with a felony as a youngster for packing an illegal pistol. Had a lot of gang members associated in my family with, so it was really just such an unlikely story that I'd become a cop. So I kind of got into it with a different perspective than the usual cop that dreams about that since they were a kid. So it kind of covers that journey, and then my journey into the how shocking it was when I first became a cop, and then putting up with all the mental stress that came from inside and outside of the badge, and then to God saving me, which was um, really the whole story points to that moment when God decided for unknown reasons to come and save me in the weirdest, unlikely way um, in a parking lot. So it was pretty crazy, and yeah, then my journey, and then I kind of I didn't want to just be name all the problems, so I kind of wrapped the book up with the solutions that I believe are just simple solutions that we could use to improve what's wrong with the badge, and then go right into the story of how I started my nonprofit out of all of that. And it's my nonprofit is that you see my face light up with that.
Yeah.
I
No,
absolutely love all
I
my.
want to show everybody. I'm gonna put it on the right here. So this is the This is the book. The link is in the description, guys. All the profits go to his support his nonprofit, My Father's Business. And My Father's Business, I pretty much knew from the get go what that was about. But if you want to
Mhm.
explain it to them, why is it called My Father's Business? Because I know, as you know, I know why it's called it, but why is it? Explain to
Uh,
everybody.
I called it that because what I do is I teach these. I take the most unlikely kids right now. They're all right off the streets. A lot of them gang members. A lot of them are into criminal activity. I welcome them into my house, and people thought I was crazy for doing that. And I was like, no, I'm about God's business. And then it just made sense that that's a verse right out of the Bible, Luke
Out of
chapter
the
2.
Bible, Luke.
I'm about
Yep.
my Father's business. So, yep. And I
I'm
wanted
about My
people just to
Father's
understand,
Business.
like, you may not get this, but I'm about God's business. So I I invite whoever wants to come. I don't care what you did. You can come in. I'm gonna feed you. I'm gonna try to mentor you, let you play ball. But the most important thing is I'm gonna walk with you. I'm gonna love you and understand where you came from. And a lot of heartbreaking stories, but there's so many glorious, unbelievable stories that have come out of there. God
Yeah.
has saved innumerable kids out of there, and it's just that we've been able to pour. And I don't even keep track of the numbers very much because my sister's in charge of that, but it's well over $250,000 we poured back into the city directly to the kids. um,
Wow.
we get them jobs now. We get them help them get into college. We try to intervene. We settle street beefs. And it's just gone so well with how I do my job too, because I don't just talk about it. Like I on the street, you'll find me seeing who's shooting at who, and we try to get right directly involved. And 9 times out of 10, it's kids that I've mentored, so we can sit them down. We can see how can we solve this, and we've done quite a lot of behind the scenes thing that a lot of people don't even realize. So it's been beautiful for my city.
Yeah, I'm sure you're respected by everyone in your community, and to have that kind of outreach towards your community where you can reach out to you know known gang members and people that you've
Mhm.
tried to help, and or and find a peaceful solution that doesn't always
Yeah.
end up wrong. But these so I wanted to show everybody this really quick because I was reading all the reviews. you know yeah, because I read the book and then I was like, wow, this is good. I have to still leave my review. But look, people took the time to write these long reviews, and it's not just. I want to make sure that everybody knows it's not just for police officers, right? It's for
No, not
anybody
at all.
going through. It's for anybody going through any sort of depression. It's not just a book for law enforcement officers. Like it is a very, very good book. Trust me and believe me. And it supports a good cause right here. My Father's
Yeah,
Business.
that's a typical Friday. The picture on the right, that's typical Friday at my father's business. We
Look at
just
that.
yep, we have a
Look at that.
great time.
He does really good work. And while we're here, first of all, I want to ask everybody that's in here to please hit the like button and share this live so the world can see that it's not just First Amendment auditors versus law enforcement. We can come together to help the world, to help our communities, to come together in Christ because it's very important to me. So if you could just hit the like button and share the video. Now that being said, I also wanted to my friend Matt here doesn't know, but I also wanted to from me personally from Long Island Audit, I wanted to personally pledge $1,000 towards your nonprofit because I've seen so much good that you're doing. You truly are doing God's work, and I want to do my part. I would love to and come down and meet all of you, and come down and meet the whole family and everything. I'd love to go down there, but I want to pledge $1,000 and any sort of money that's made from this live stream. Anybody that's doing super chats, I'm going to be donating it to his nonprofit. You did not know about that, right? But
Oh my gosh, Sean, man, you are the best. Oh my gosh, you made me cry up here. Don't be making me emotional now, Sean.
no,
Oh,
man, I really, really appreciate you, man, and I love what you do, and I see that you're doing God's work, man, and I tell you all the time in our conversations, and I want to do my part to help. So I will be donating $1,000 to your nonprofit
thank you. Oh man, thank
on
you.
behalf of We the People. I'm going to put in the memo We the People because I couldn't be in the position where I'm at today without the people, right? And the same thing with you. I'm sure you get donations from your community and everything else. So, we can't we're only as strong as who we have behind our back. And number one, we have the big man, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's all we really need. But we also have the people that come together and support us so we can do great work. And you are doing great work, and I really appreciate it. So I hope that helps. Um,
Oh, bro,
thank you.
man,
You
that's
know, thank
so
you for what
great.
you do. Thank you for what you do, man.
Thank you for what you do. We
Yes,
appreciate
if
the same,
anybody
Bart.
wants to go support my father's business, like I am personally, you could do it here. There's like a donate section over here. But he's doing great work. I would love to come down. I'm actually going to be in Illinois August 10th. I wanted to show you this. This is another thing I wanted to show you. I'll be in Illinois August 10th, and I don't know if you've seen this video, but I want to show you. So I'll be in Illinois August 10th for a trial, actually, right?
Oh, that's going to trial. I know.
Yeah,
I've seen it. I've
for
seen it.
Berwyn, right? So I
Hmm.
wanted to show you and everybody else really quick, just so we could see it all together. I've showed it a million times, but I'll show it a million and one because it's so absurd. Um, this is my crime here. This interaction. City administration. Hi, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How can I help you?
What office is this?
I'm the city administrator.
You're the city administrator.
I am.
Hi.
Are you recording me?
I am recording you.
I would ask that you not record me, please.
Well, you're a public official, obviously. You're the city
I'm not
administrator.
elected. And
That wouldn't
asking-
matter.
Yes, it does.
That
If
you're
you
not
go to our
elected.
doors,
Yeah,
I am not elected.
but that doesn't matter. You still work
If
for
you
the
go to our
government.
doors,
Still
you
work
will
for the
see
public.
on our doors we have a sign that says, no recordings are allowed unless we give permission. I am not giving you permission. It is a state law,
I did see that sign.
and then we
And-
follow state law here.
It's a state law.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Can we talk outside?
who are you, sir?
I'm Detective Monaco.
Are you
I'm with the police department.
police department here?
Yes.
Okay.
The sign up.
I'm not going to.
Sure. I'm Ruth Ciaba Green.
Ruth.
Ruth Ciaba Green.
Ciaba
I'm the
Green.
City administrator.
Okay. Thank you, Ruth. So that right there, the video is obviously longer than that, but that woman, the city administrator Ruth Ciaba Green, and her husband, who is a division commander for the Berwyn Police Department with 5 federal lawsuits, I believe, against him for unlawful arrest, excessive force, all manner of things that I've read these complaints. Not a nice guy if what is being alleged in those 5 federal lawsuits, and he keeps getting promoted. Wonder why? Do you think it's because his wife is Ruth Ciaba Green? But the point I want to make is that because of that 1 minute clip right there, I'm going to trial for disorderly conduct. And I think it's relevant to you as a law enforcement officer in the state of Illinois. It's just it comes to a point. I don't know if you remember, there was the statute that she was referring to in the video. That was an Illinois state statute for eavesdropping, right? So I remember there was a time where law enforcement officers in Illinois, they used to use that law against people who were recording and stuff, and then it was deemed unconstitutional. And it really, since it's been deemed unconstitutional and the legislator changed it, no one's really used it like this before because it's absurd to use it. So I was arrested for felony eavesdropping, long story short, and they ended up changing it to, because it's unconstitutional, they changed it to disorderly conduct.
I remember it used to be like that years ago.
Yeah. And that's what I was, and that's my point, is that they used to try and use that for filming against them. Now they're playing music and stuff like that, so that way it could get taken down from YouTube. You did a video on it. I know it's ridiculous, and anybody who can watch, any reasonable person who can watch that clip, because she's the complaint. So that was my only interaction with her. So anybody can watch that short interaction with her and say that she was, first of all, she didn't look alarmed to me. She didn't look, it's just, I was more than cordial with her. Like, if that's disorderly conduct, we're on a slippery slope. And for that, the state's attorney, Cook County State's attorney, will be prosecuting me to the fullest extent of the law. And we will be going to trial on August 10th. So I will be out in Illinois. If anybody else wants to come and watch it, I'm trying to get it live streamed. So I'm looking for permission from the court to do that, so that way the world can watch. That would be amazing. I don't see why not. the state's attorney, Alyssa Dunbar, she has already objected because she doesn't like transparency, I guess. She wouldn't want, what's the problem with it being live streamed? I don't know. We
Was
have
it
to watch
actually
John
inside
and
the
that.
actual courtroom?
I'm sorry?
It live stream inside the actual courtroom?
Yeah, live stream the actual case. Yeah.
Oh,
We're trying. I'm trying to get that done. You know what happens in high profile cases? There's nothing illegal about it, but you would need the judge's
Yeah,
permission, and you
yeah.
would need the judge's permission. And I'm trying to get that now. I doubt I'm going to get it. But if anybody wants to go to Illinois, to Berwyn, to Cook County, and watch the trial, I appreciate the support. I've received many emails saying people have already booked hotels and everything. So I really appreciate the support. I will definitely be there. Don't want to fail to appear. We're going to be fighting for our rights and doing the right thing, and I'll be there for a little bit. I'll be in Illinois for a while, so hopefully I would love to meet you in person. That would be great.
Oh, I'm like probably, man, it's not very far. Maybe 40 minutes.
Oh yeah, 40 minutes. Oh, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I would love to come meet you in person. Come see what my father's business is all about. I think it would be cool. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Man. Sean, I'm telling you, you will fall in love with what we do. I should let you. I should sick you on some of these ones in my city. I sneak you in there. And with I'll be with you. Give me a camera. I'm gonna go right alongside you.
That would be great. No, you never know. I might come to your city unexpectedly, and we'll see what happens. But you said you said that your mayor knows. Your mayor knows what he supports you and what you do, and so let's hope that we won't get into. I won't run into no serious problems where I'm getting prosecuted by. It's just ridiculous, Matt. Really, like it's ridiculous. Like I don't see how are you wasting this much resources on that simple video you just saw. Like there was nothing disorderly about what I did. There was nothing. I don't get it. Ego.
Yeah, I'd seen that from the beginning. I didn't know that that was still going on.
Yeah. Still August 10th is the trial date. So we're gonna see what happens, I guess. Hopefully we can get some things done. All right, guys. I want to take some questions. So if you have any questions for me or Matt, I'll put them up on the screen so we can answer them. Okay, you're saying that somebody said I need to go after judges and DAs. Well, when you mean go after, you mean like, I'm assuming you mean like, with a camera for accountability and transparency, nothing else, because I'm peaceful. But they're insulated. They're in the courthouse and they do what they want.
Yeah, that'd be
and
tough.
This is gonna cost the city of Berwyn, money. And they've paid out for her husband before. Now they're gonna be paying out for her. They settle cases for her husband, who keeps getting promoted despite allegedly beating men up, getting his gun. He got into this is all in the lawsuit, that he got into a fight with a guy at a bar and he got his gun stolen from him. He's beat guys up. He's one of those guys that goes to bars and has a big deal. Please tell us your check bag. Please tell us you have hold on. All right, let's see about this one. Please tell us about a time that you have reported or checked a bad officer and/or struggles with that. If you didn't, shout out, Sean. Nice work. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Do you have like a obviously now you don't have to go into specifics, but did you have any issues with that or?
Are we up?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it just my screen went blank. Yeah, I could talk about years ago. Like there was some. I can't really name specifics, but I got drug into a call where a couple of officers got in some serious trouble, and I didn't care what they thought. I didn't mean nothing. I told the truth, and I told the truth. The truth was they shouldn't have done that, and I stood by it to the commanders. I stood by it in the courtroom, and whatever repercussions were to come. But the truth was the truth. I've done that on quite a few occasions, actually. I've arrested police officers back in the day. Nothing I can really.
I've never seen anything like that before. I have never seen anything like that before. Police officer getting arrested. I've never seen it. This Billy Crystal. How about a merch collab? Proceeds go to his organization. I already said that. So it's already
Yes.
being done. You probably weren't here earlier in the live, so I'll forgive you. But I already said that, and you know, we're gonna hold on. Let me see, and we're gonna do that for sure, Matt. We're gonna do it. All right. I don't care how busy you are, how much overtime you're working. We're gonna do it, and the proceeds will go to his organization.
I got you.
All right. Let me see if there's any more questions, really quick. What does we mean? Any more questions? It's hard because the chat goes by so quickly.
Oh yeah, the thing that scrolls so fast.
Yeah, Sean will continue to pray for your protection, security, and wisdom for the next few steps pertaining to this trial. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's more than I could ever need or ask for. So somebody wants to know from me what happened with did anything come about for the constable pushing you in Baton Rouge? I have not heard from internal affairs. Didn't expect to. I'm looking for an attorney to file a lawsuit there. Those guys were a bunch of tyrants. So stay tuned. When I know more, you guys know more. Not hiding anything. Look, appreciate what you guys are doing. We appreciate the support. This is a good question. Does he wear the blue flag? Ooh, this is a good question. I'm about to get you in some hot water.
I'm glad they asked. I used to be okay with it when it came out because I understand we hold the line and all that. But when it started offending people and people I hear the other side of it, that it means a little bit more than that. And I've seen officers that I know are at war with the citizens. They're at war, and this is like their badge of honor to wear this blue line thing. And I'm like, I'm not. I got rid of all my stuff with that. I don't wear that thing.
Yeah, I'm all for freedom of speech and expression, but again, police officers, when you're working as a police officer, your rights. You don't have the same rights while you're on the clock as a normal citizen would. And just like in any private even private companies, you can't just go into Walmart and do whatever you want. You have to listen to your bosses, and the bosses are the people in this case, and your local municipality. And for me, the blue line flag, I've just seen so many people that push it really hard, be really really tyrant officers, and for me it just symbolizes. And why can't we all just be under the United States, the flag of the United States?
That's the way I see it.
We're all part of we the people. There's no need for different flags. Because it's kind of, in my mind, it sets you apart. Again, it could have started off innocently. I don't know, and I'm sure there's so many police officers that wear it without even thinking about it, right? But I just think personally it separates law enforcement. Now you have your own flag. It's like, why would you need that? But I don't know.
Yeah, I totally agree. I may own one or two workouts because I get a lot of free gear. I cut them into workout shirts if I could wear, but I think I got rid of every one that I have. So
it's a terror flag from. Yeah, we're not gonna go there.
Yeah, I know a lot of people see it that way.
I mean, people, and like I said, I don't support it at all. I don't want. I've seen people with tattoos on it. Sergeant Brian Fahey from Connecticut State Police Department, from you guys that watch my videos, you guys know he had like a tattoo of it with a skull, and he was just a bad, evil, in my opinion, individual. Let me see here before we get out of here. So Matt, and I don't want to keep it too long, but it was really really nice talking to you. I loved the book. I'm really encouraging everybody out there, if you can get the book. I'm even thinking about buying a whole bunch of them, just when I go to different police departments, just leave it there for them. I think that'd be really cool. Just like, here you go, God bless you.
That'd be great.
You got to write a book about. You have to write a book about more towards the de-escalation and bridging the gap between the communities, more focus towards that. And I'll hand them out to every tyrant, and I'll just be like, here you go. I'll start handing them out on my audits. We should read. A few
chapters have already been written in that one, I promise you.
Good. I can't wait for it. I'm thinking about writing a book myself. I'm like, I want to write a book. I was like, I want to write a book. I was like, because I've seen so much and I've done so much in such a short time. I could write a book just on the state of Connecticut. Corrupticut is what I like to call it. But just on that state, alone, I can write a book. But for all the trials and tribulations I've gone through, behind the scenes with my family, with people who stalk me and are obsessed with me, that make YouTube channels. That can you believe there's people who have YouTube channels that are dedicated to berating me, obsessing over me. People have T-shirts with my face on it behind them, like a weird kind of shrine. Like, it's some crazy things that I have to deal with, man. And it's a lot of, it's crazy, man. Writing memos and doing all this crazy stuff, and it's like, for what, man? Like, what are you doing? Like, don't you have anything? Why are you so invested in me? What do I do that you are so invested in? You allow hate to enter into your heart and destroy your life, because you're not going to have a good life if you're living life with hate in your heart. I'll tell you that right now.
It's never helped anything.
It's insane. It's insane. Like, I hope nobody here watching here is some crazy person who's going to make a YouTube channel, dedicated to stalking you. But it happened to me, man, and it's pretty scary, man. Like, it's a crazy thing. All right, well, let me see here. Yes, I will write a book, everybody. It's coming.
I got a publisher for you, Sean.
All right, you got a publisher for me? Cool. I would love to write a book. I would love to write a book. Yeah, man. So again, I'm going to show everybody your website really quick before we get out of here. Let's go over here, because I just think I wouldn't, and I want to let everybody know, I wouldn't be hyping up Matt here if I did plenty of research on what he does, and he does amazing work, man. You're really doing God's work, man, and that is why we the people. I got to get one of those big checks, Matt. I got to get one of those big. I want one of those big checks that you used to see back in the day, like it's $1,000, not $1 million, but I want one of those big checks that say Long Island Audit, we the people, because I couldn't do it without we the people, and I can't wait.
That is great, man. I appreciate you more than you know, brother.
Thank
we
you,
just
man.
keep fighting. We
got to stay in touch. We got to stay in touch like we always do, and keep talking. I put on the title of this, Bridging the Gap, episode 1, right? Because I'm speaking it into existence. I want to invite any law enforcement officer out there, anyone from around the country. If you would like to come and speak truth, we're not bashing the police. If you watch this, like if you watch it, you'd see that never happened. But we're just speaking the truth, and we're speaking that all good police officers and all police officers that honor their oath that they took to uphold the Constitution, they would have no problem with this conversation. None. The only people that are going to watch this and say that there's a problem are bootlickers who just worship the police no matter what they do, or police officers that are tyrants. Because you can't tell me that a productive conversation like this, you can't tell me that inviting a First Amendment auditor to do a training at a police department to give his personal views of from what he's seen from around the country, you can't tell me that that's a bad thing. So
no,
it's crazy.
You have a great voice, and you use it correctly, man. That's why I love you to death, brother.
Thank you, man. Well, I'm going to be getting out of here. I'm technically on vacation.
There you go.
I'm technically on vacation, but I it's never worked to come talk to you. It was great. So I want to come give it to you in person. So August 10th, I want to come there. I'm gonna try and get a big check. If anybody knows where I can get a big check from, because I think it'll just be funny and cool. And I want to meet the kids, man. I want to meet the kids.
Oh, you'll love them. There's so many, and they're all beautiful souls. I love them.
Yeah, man. Well, tell your wife I said hello, because I know she's the technical person behind gets you ready for all the lives and everything. I know she's the support. You can't do it without the family support. I know from personal experience. But yeah, man. Love you, brother. Keep up the good work. I hope it keeps going strong, and I wish you nothing but success. you know, if you want to check out Matt's book, it's in the description below. You want to check out the nonprofit, My Father's Business, in the description below. His TikTok, YouTube, everything that he got over there is in the description. I invite you all to go check it out. Thank you, Matt, for coming on. Really appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Hope to talk to you again soon.
Yep, you too.
All right, man.